So when it comes to preparing anything, it's very vital to have the right ingredients, and those right ingredients, even if you have them right and they are not measured to the right quantities, you can't get what you want. So first and foremost, first things first, we have to measure our milk. We've chosen to use milk because it's a perfect ingredient, and we are in the land of milk and honey. That's why for our chapati episode this time around, we are using milk. I hope it's not your first time to see this, and if it is, we are glad to bring you uniqueness, eating the African way. So we're going to first sieve our milk to remove the cream. We do not need this cream in the chapatis. We want it so smooth. You have to first sieve it all off. Yeah, we got this milk fresh from the cows this morning. That's why you can see some kind of hairs, but we just milked the cows this morning. So after sieving, compared to the quantity of chapati we want to make, we will need approximately 3 cups of milk, but we are going to boil an excess of 4 just in case. But as we are adding, we shall still keep measuring. That's 1. Like I told you, even if you have the right ingredients, when the measurements are wrong, you're off. 2. Actually, good enough, we had exactly 3. Oh, 3. This is concentrated milk, not diluted at all. So what we do, we put this milk on the fire to warm a bit. After the milk is warm a bit, then we can add blue band. I think it has to warm to the level of melting the blue band so that it can also turn a little bit liquid. So let's go put our milk on the fire. For our soft chapatis, we are going to add 3 spoons of blue band. If you have any kind of margarine, you can use. So for us, we are choosing to add 3 spoons of blue band. Our milk has warmed up to the level of melting the blue band. It started melting already. You will only find this kind of uniqueness on eating the African way. So keep on keeping on. So we have to measure our flour. This time around, we are purposing to make 6 cups of this flour because we are one big family. That's 1, 2, 6. Add some onions. These ones, I do not know which specific amount I can tell you, but you estimate what is good. They add on to the taste. They add on to the taste of our chapatis. You can cut our onions very well. They also add to the taste and the scent of the chapati. The ratio of salt to sugar is 1 to 2, meaning 1 spoon of salt goes for 2 spoons of sugar. So we put 2 spoons of salt, we're going to put 4 spoons of sugar. Remember, we have to just sprinkle it very well for it to be so evenly. Now, most of you didn't know that even sugar is added to the chapatis. You're going to learn it from here. This is the 3rd one and the 4th one. Ratio of 1 to 2, and then you mix our sugar very well. This is our milk. So our milk is here, but I must tell you the scent in here is so we've got to put it in bits. So we are going to add our milk to the flour, and then we mix. We don't add it all at once, we add it in bits. Yes, You just have to add it in bits, make sure. We've chosen to use warm milk. First of all, remember we had to melt our blue band or your butter or whatever you're using, and also it makes it get ready so soon. If you have a mixer for this first process, you can use a mixer, but we are deep in the village where we can't access a mixer. So make sure you've mixed everything so evenly before you add another cup. Oh yes, keep adding in bits, not at once. This is just mixing, because remember the blue band is oily, it tends to float on top, so you have to first mix a little bit evenly. Yes, the scent is amazing. Just want to take it now. Our dough is almost getting ready, because you can see it started getting off my hands and off the pan. It's not over sticking to the pan, so we have to continue a little bit. Make sure it's all evenly kneaded. Is it called kneading? As you can see, our dough is no longer sticking to my hands. It's ready, even it's no longer sticking to the pan. So we just have to knead a little bit more. Getting ready in Luganda, we call it okuja. Inano ya feide. This too adds on to the readiness. If you don't have strong palms like mine, you can get a mingling stick and do this. We had to change the environment. You know, our African weather, it just started drizzling outside, so we had to come indoors, inside. So most people, we had added oil before we moved in. Most people make a mistake of adding that oil before the dough is ready, and because when you add oil, the dough will not stick to your hands, so they're always tempted to think it's ready. First knead it before you add the oil, so when you see it's not sticking to your hands, that you know it's ready. When it's ready, it's when you can add this oil. It also adds on to the softness of your chapatis. So after ensuring that our dough is ready, you organize it so well like this, and get a paper, kavera, we call it kavera here, and cover it up for 6 hours. 6 hours. Oh, English, leave me alone. For 6 hours. This brings about the softness, because this dough tends to, is it called to expand? Yes, it does. So we're going to leave it here. You're not going to watch it for 6 hours, because we are covering it for 6 hours. We're not going to watch it for 6 hours. We are going to go to the garden, do other things as we let it set properly. This is what is the secret to the softness of a chapati. This is eating the African way. So the 6 hours are done. We are back from the garden. We have to continue with our chapati. We basically wanted this in the evening, so it's perfect time. So we've got to uncover our chapati. Remember I told you, the longer you cover them, the softer they get. So 6 hours got done, and this is what we got. So we have to, all we have to do is to divide this big dough into very small portions, which will turn out to be the individual chapatis. This is where we shall be putting our dough. We are putting this because we wouldn't want them to, they can't stick to the table, but still just for easy removal. So this helps give it shape, and actually this is a very right measurement. It kind of gives the right size you want. as we eat the African way, we have to work within our means. So we try as much as possible to be adjustable. So as most cases, as you're making chapatis, you'll have where to roll from. That is like a wooden plate. What is it called? It always looks like a chopping stick where you can always roll your chapatis from. But we do not have that right now, so we are going to use our table. It's very clean, and there's always another wooden stick for rolling, which we don't have. Our grandmom has a wine bottle. It's all we have, so it's what we are going to be using for today. And another thing, you always have to improvise. Be wise. So we do not have a frying pan. We are going to be using our, that is a locally made saucepan. We call them dongolo or what, but that is our local saucepan. It's very heavy enough. We wouldn't want you to use a light saucepan as it may burn or even burn your chapati, also getting spoiled. So this one is heavy enough and thick enough to serve us so well. Welcome to eating the African way. So we are going to be warming our saucepan here because we've just washed it. It has to dry very well, so we shall leave it on the fire as we roll out our chapatis. To get our dough, sometimes it's good to give it, since we don't have the right wooden thing to roll it, you can first give it shape before you put your bottle onto it. Then you roll to spread out the dough. Remember, we are making soft layered chapatis, so what we want, the step we are at is step of making the layers. Whatever is to make it soft, we went through it, so the step we are at is to give us the layers. Spread out your dough. After spreading out the dough to the right size, you get your oil, a little bit of it, and spread it around the chapati. We want it layered, so this is exactly what is going to give you the layers. Get your knife, estimate the center, because the chapati is supposed to be circular. Estimate the center and cut out a line like this and roll it in this manner. This is what is going to give us our layers. Roll the line until you finish, and then after rolling, so you have to tuck it in to make it circular again, because remember, we have now to roll it to make it the chapati, the layered chapati we want. So tuck it in like this and press it to form a circular like shape like this that we shall have to roll. You have to keep changing to give it shape. If you don't change, you make a map of Uganda or Africa instead of a circular one. Maybe since we are eating the African way, we would make a map of Africa. So we are making a lot of chapatis for everyone at home, so we don't want to make this video any longer, just to show you the ones we've made so far. These are the ones we've made so far. Soft layered chapati. This is how soft our chapatis are. Yeah, you would gladly serve them to your guests, to your family, and let them enjoy your chapatis the African way. This is the African way. Soft, layered, and tasty.